بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. It is Monday, the 20th of February, 2023. And in our series, Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 393. These days, we are considering the words of the second chapter, Al-Baqarah of the Holy Quran, verse 107. And this is the seventh broadcast in considering the words of this verse of the Holy Quran. These broadcasts are brought to you by LAISA, Lahore Ahmadiyya School of Education in Religion, which is a branch of Ahmadiyya Association for the Propagation of Islam. The Ahmadiyya Association was founded by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, Rahmatullah Alayh, and his teaching was that although other Muslims say that after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, other prophets can come, this is not true, because the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet is Khatamun Nabiyyin, and the Holy Prophet explained it by saying, Ana Khatamun Nabiyyin, la Nabiya ba'di. I'm the last of the prophets, and there is no prophet after me. So now, no prophet can come, old or new. This worried the companions of the Holy Prophet, who asked, when previous people went astray, God sent prophets to guide them to the right path. So what will happen to Muslims? And the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallam replied that God will raise reformers, mujaddideen, who will guide the Ummah. And many have appeared in the Muslim Ummah over the years. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was one such person. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad further taught that in the Hadith, the Messiah and the Mahdi spoken of are not two different people, but they are the qualities, the characteristics, the attributes of a Mujaddid, and he claimed that he was that Mujaddid. He also explained that people say that in our sources, the Hadith comes first. And if we find a contradiction between the Hadith and the Quran, we should reject the Hadith. We should reject the Quran and accept the Hadith. But he said Quran is the word of Allah. written down as it came down. So our first source of knowledge about religion is the Holy Quran. And then comes the Sunnah, or the actions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and then Hadith, the sayings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Similarly, he taught that although other people say that some verses of the Holy Quran are abrogated, some say up to 500 verses of the Holy Quran are abrogated, or some prophetic revelation, like the verse of stoning, has got missed out from the Holy Quran. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said this cannot be true, because the God said, I am revealing the Holy Quran and I will protect it. So it has Allah's protection. So nothing in it is cancelled, abrogated, and nothing has been missed out. No prophetic revelation has been left out, missed out from the Holy Quran. And he taught that every Muslim should conduct jihad. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad defined jihad as jihad bin nafs. This is the primary significance of jihad, that you struggle with yourself to become a good person, a better person. And of course, Hazrat Sahib also said that Hazrat Sahib also said that we are forbidden to say that other reciter of the kalima who disagree with us are kafirs or heretics for that disagreement. So we should reflect upon these things. So let us now go to Al-Baqarah chapter 2 verse 107, which says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تعلم أن الله له ملك السماوات والأرض وما لكم من دون الله من ولي ولا نصير. And its English translation is, don't you know that Allah's is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and that apart from Allah you do not have any friend or a helper. In this broadcast we are going to look at the last three words of this verse of the Holy Quran, Wala Nafir. Wa is a conjunction, it connects the previous expression to the what is to follow, and la means no. So whatever follows, it negates it. So really the main word we need to look at is Nafir. So if I go to my notes on the computer, its root is Noon Wad Wa. And we find 10 words made from those characters in the Holy Quran, a total of 158 times. So we have 59 times we have Nasara, and 35 times we have Nasir. 22 times we have Nasr. 15 times we have the noun Nasrani. Nasrani. And 11 times Nasir, and then fewer times than that. Now, its basic meaning is, if I can find my notes, what's happened to them? Where are they? Here we are. Its basic meaning you can take from this expression that rain made the earth fertile. And we know that if you're trying to plant crops or fruits and flowers and so on, unless there is water, you're not going to get a crop. Water that pushes a flood forward, the word for that, Nasiran, is from the same root. So its basic meaning, fundamental idea expressed by this root is that something is made fertile by something. And in a way, you can consider it to be God's revelation, the Holy Quran, God's guidance. Because that is the rain that falls upon us and makes our souls productive and fertile. And this is why those who take advantage of this are called muflihun. And that is that those people whose souls, whose ground, whose earth, whose land is fertile. There's plentiful crop on them. But you can see that there are two things. One, you have the rain. Now, if it rains and you don't go out and you don't plow the land and you don't plant the seed and you don't then provide the fertilizer, then that rain on its own cannot do anything. You are not going to get a crop just because it has rained on your soul. If you're taking this in terms of God's revelation, to that has to be added your own effort. And this is called God's help. If you make effort, but it's not in accordance with God's law, then you are like the farmer who's trying to sow a seed in a desert, in a place where there is no water. It's not going to be very productive and it's not going to be very successful. And the Holy Quran itself refers to this when it refers to such people as those whose efforts are wasted. And in fact, in Ali Imran, Nasara is the antonym, the opposite of Khazala. Khazala means to forsake someone. So because Nasara is the opposite of that, so that means to support someone. Now you can see this from the example of from the example that I gave at the beginning of water and crops and so on, that water helps a crop to grow, whatever it is. But as I also said, you have had to put some effort in digging up the ground, in putting the seeds in providing fertilizer and so on. And water helps that crop to grow, and you get a good crop. Without both things, you are not going to be very successful. So the fruits that you get, they may be physical fruits if you're taking this literally, but they may be spiritual fruits in that you use God's revelation and then you put your own effort into implementing them, and then you see the fruits of your labor. And God refers to this when God says that, oh, you who believe, if you don't support, if you don't help God, sorry, it's the opposite. Oh, you who believe, if you help God, then He will help you. So we can understand how God can help us. But what does it mean if you help God? If you take this as a government or ruler and ruled, a country cannot run unless its people obey the law of the land. That's how they help the government. Now, you made the laws, okay, we may not agree with it, but we're going to help you by abiding by that law. So helping God doesn't necessarily mean the same as helping another human being, but it means that this is God's kingdom. And you make sure that it's not spoiled and it's not destroyed, because you live in it in accordance with the laws that He has created. And we have seen that where human beings have violated God's laws, what has happened. In 1950s, there used to be thick smog in London, especially in winter. Smog was a combination of smoke and fog. And what gave rise to it was the use of coal in homes to heat homes. And that coal gave off smoke, and the use of the same coal in factories and other places. And because we violated God's law, because we know that in atmosphere carbon dioxide should be this percentage, and oxygen should be that percentage, and hydrogen should be another percentage, and so on, and neon should be some other percent. And if you violate God's law by increasing the percentage of one gas in the atmosphere, it's going to do you harm, and it did. And this is what God says, that live in this universe, live in this world, but act in accordance with the laws God has established. Then, if you do this, then all the good that comes from living in this arrangement, all the fruits of that, you will eat them. And God will help you by making you steadfast so that you continue to do that. And those who don't do it, their actions will not bear fruit. You see, in law, intention is a great thing. So that's what that verse is talking about. What is your intention? A man takes a knife and cuts another person. Now, what is his intention? Oh, I'm a surgeon and I'm removing his appendix because if I don't, he will die. Oh, right. Fine, well done. Another man takes the knife and cuts someone else's stomach. And why did you do it? Well, I was trying to rob him of his wallet and he was resisting. So I stabbed him so I could grab his wallet. Both people have cut someone else's stomach with a knife. But one is going to be praised for saving a life, the one who removed someone's appendix, and the other one who's trying to rob someone is going to be punished and sent to jail for a long time, probably. And this is what we need to remember. The other thing we need to remember is this, that God has created immutable laws. And as soon as you do something, they come into operation. If you eat poison and then start praying to God to save you, it's not going to happen. Because God's law is that people who eat poison, their systems are destroyed and they die. This is what will happen. My wrong action triggered God's laws in that respect, and the rest is what will happen. So there's no point in complaining about this. Another word is Al-Ansar. This is the helpers. And this is a word which is specially used for people of Medina who helped the migrants from Mecca. And in fact, the Holy Quran itself in chapter 3, verse 52 uses the expression Ansarullah, God's helpers, or those who supported God's religion. And of course, we have Nasari, Nazarenes, sometimes called in English. And they are they are Christians. And this refers to when Jesus asked, who will help me propagate God's message? And some of his companions, some of his disciples said, we are going to help you do this. And for that, they got the name Nasari or Nazarenes, I think sometimes they're called in English. So with that, I take my leave of you. Inshallah, we'll broadcast again tomorrow at the same time. With the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.